Hello and welcome to this week's episode of 9 to 5 Nerds with Robert Swathwood, Corey Urkel,
Hello,
and our producer Katrina Swathwood.
Hi.
We do not have any guests today. We are we're guestless.
Nobody wanted to see Solo.
Nobody wanted to see Solo?
I don't think I know anybody else who saw it.
I didn't
Really?
ask around though.
Yeah, normally there's a couple people at work, you see the big movies. A couple of the nerdy guys, they didn't see it.
It didn't have a great opening. I know that.
My theater wasn't too full.
Ours started out not being full,
And
but
it filled up
it filled up almost, I'd say 80%.
You went on Memorial Day.
Yes, I did.
at 9:30 in the morning.
Still Memorial Day. Nobody
Yeah.
works.
It's still early.
But all you listeners out there are going to have to give us a small break. We upgraded all of our equipment, and none of us are sound engineers.
I know.
So
I'm not even a plane engineer.
we are trying to figure out how this works. So, if you are listening, go ahead and tell us, give us a little heads up about how this sounds, if it sounds different than the last one, if it's better or worse. We did do a really big upgrade. So
And if you aren't listening, let us know.
What?
crickets.
Well, it depends. If they're not listening, I want to hear about it too.
I like it.
Okay.
I am going to start out by apologizing that the last episode was a little late by a few days. I'm pretty open and honest on the podcast. If you're a listener and you were to ask me a question, I'd honestly give you an honestly give you an honest answer.
It's a lot of
Honest.
That's what you can. That's the thing about dishonest people.
You can always trust them to be
Dishonest.
Honestly.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what that quote is.
Something like that. We nailed it.
I have an anxiety disorder, and I was dealing with fairly bad anxiety attacks for a couple weeks, off and on for a while. And it's been something I've had for as long as I can remember, and I'm just trying to be open and let you know why the episode was... Corey doesn't do serious. He's just kind of looking at me like...
This sucks.
What's wrong with you? But, it is a thing, and it sucks, and it kind of took me down. Just kind of trying to get through work every day. I was exhausted, so I had 2 episodes to edit last week. We put one up for our Patreon, and I tried to get the next one done, but I was tired and I was fighting it, so
It didn't happen.
it didn't happen. And I apologize. I'm just trying to be honest, and that's why last week's episode is late. I appreciate you sticking with us if you are listening, and like I said, I try to be open, I try to be honest, so that's about as serious as this episode's going to get.
Are you sure?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, we're booked solid.
Robert is ready to go.
There's no guests. I'm feeling good today, and I wrote shit down all day about stuff that's going on.
I don't know anything because all I did was work.
Yeah. I had a funny story that I got, the poop knife thing was a big hit. And
A big stab.
I found another funny, it's not a story, but I found another little funny news quip. But I have so much stuff to talk about, I might save it till next week.
You have that much material?
Yeah.
Why tease it?
I have, you want me to just say
It's
it?
that good.
You want me to just go off with that? Okay, and for listeners as well, and I haven't discussed this with Katrina or Corey, but we are going to change the format of our non-format podcast here.
Whimsical.
Yeah. When movie season is heavy, we do a lot of movie episodes. But I feel like there are a lot of podcasts that do movie stuff. And where I still want to talk about the movies and stuff, I'm thinking that unless it's a super-sized movie like Infinity Wars or like something just absolutely massive, a full episode devoted to one movie isn't necessarily what we need. Like, we don't need to talk an hour to an hour and 15 minutes today about Solo.
No.
So I'm thinking if we do movies, I think the most fun that we have is when we're just shooting the shit and we're talking about random stuff. So I'm thinking if we are going to do a movie, we stick to like 20 minutes of a podcast, and just instead of trying to fill the time with, hey, 400 other podcasts are going to talk about this exact same thing. And, not to differentiate us, but I think the most fun we have is when we're fucking around. So I'm going to stick to
Fucking around
more.
Okay.
Interesting.
Talking about
the fucking level.
talking about my wiping stuff and my anxiety problems. So
Yay.
Yeah.
You make a whole newsletter about that shit.
Yeah, maybe I'll just do a one man podcast where I just get real depressed.
No,
You
there's
just
already
talk
one
about
like
your
that.
bowel movements.
Yeah, Mark Maron.
Yeah.
I love Mark Maron.
Unhealthy.
It's not unhealthy. It's funny. Have you ever listened to Mark Maron?
No.
It's good stuff.
Do I know who that is?
He's a comedian. He has the WTF podcast. He has like 2.75 million downloads a month.
Would I recognize him?
Probably
He's in
not.
Glow.
He's in Glow.
Okay.
He's in a handful of things.
He's
Anyways,
in Easy.
I'd like to take a few steps back. I'm actually not depressed. It's just the anxiety with occasional panic attacks. It's not depression. I'm okay on that if you're worried. I am. So there was a lot of nerd news today. We will get to Solo, but there was a lot of new nerd stuff today and news.
I was told to stay off the internet.
I
Nerd
told
stuff and news.
yeah, as the host, I told the co-host and the producer without our guest today to stay off the internet.
It's kind of unfair. There's a lot of things I could have been doing.
Oh, no. I had a full day. It
Okay.
was very easy.
Did you hear about Roseanne today?
No. What happened?
Did you hear about Roseanne today? Okay, so
The show? Or the?
yeah, the show's been canceled.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
People don't like it.
pretty immediate. No,
What did she do?
exactly. It debuted to 18 million people, which is
No, it was huge. They got signed for a
Huge.
second season already.
They got signed for a second season, and not only was it canceled, but the shows that are rerunning those episodes are gone. They took them off starting today.
What happened?
So I'm gonna bring up the news article. So just give me a second.
Oh,
I've seen them do some.
you should have been ready.
Dumbass.
No, I
tweets.
have it. I saved all the. Oh yeah, and it has to do with Twitter, and it has to do with.
Oh, yeah, she's very vocal on Twitter. I see all her shit come across
okay,
my feed.
So
and I don't even follow her, so I don't know who's retweeting it, but I need to find out who that is and take them off.
So Roseanne returned in March after 2 decades absent to huge ratings on ABC, which is owned by Disney. So the tweet was, she wrote, Muslim, this is in quotation marks, Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ. VJ is Valerie Jarrett, who is an African-American woman who was a senior advisor to Donald Trump. So she referred to an African-American person as if the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby.
A monkey, basically.
Yes.
That is awful.
Yeah, it's fucking god awful. And I don't think she also attacked Chelsea Clinton today, but you can't make those kind of comments. And like Wanda Sykes is a executive producer on the show. She before the show got canceled, she's like, I'm done. I'm not going back to Roseanne. And I think we all know, everybody knows who Wanda Sykes is, right?
I do.
She's fairly well known. So she tried to apologize, but they said that ABC made $48 million in revenue from Roseanne this year, and $60 million was projected for next year in revenue
And they still cut
from
it.
ads, and they still cut it. People are like flabbergasted that a show that was this popular, because 10 to 18 million viewers is a huge show.
I'm surprised they didn't just make her put out a retraction.
No, it's a statement. They're putting their foot down and saying, we're not taking this shit anymore.
She just fuck over all these other actors and actresses. Like, I haven't watched it, but
I haven't either.
John Goodman, everybody is back for this.
Laurie
Yeah.
Metcalf's fine.
Yeah, there was a lot of people back, and what's the girl's name? It plays her daughter. Darlene. Her name is it Laura Denny? I can't remember exactly, but there was a lot of responses.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate, but
There is none.
No.
no. So say you have, I don't know, anybody in The Walking Dead. It could be not even Rick. If they made a racist tweet and the show got canceled because of that, would you be pissed off and like just say fire that character? Or,
She is the focal point.
Yeah, here's the thing. If it was any other character, like on The Walking Dead, you would fire that character.
So say it was
But
Rick,
since the show,
and they canceled it.
yeah, you would.
Andrew Lincoln.
We'll get to that. It's the show's called Roseanne. Unless you're going to try to spin it to Jackie or her sister or her husband, but you can't. It wouldn't. I mean, if it was anybody else, they'd just be fired. But since she was the focal point of the show,
She's the creative property.
she's the creative property. They canceled the show.
It would be funny if they killed her off and fucking renamed it.
Yeah, see, but even that, she'd be getting money because she's probably super involved in the show
Yeah.
because it's based off of her.
She's probably making well enough from fucking reruns.
It's
Syndication.
I don't think, but I don't think when Roseanne was on, there was a syndication deal. There was like I was listening to I can't remember if it was Fred Savage, the show Wonder Years. They don't get any money from that syndication. There weren't syndication deals
That's
then.
crazy.
That's interesting.
So I don't think it was until like the time of like Seinfeld and Friends where they started getting syndication deals.
And how do you feel about the company like responding to? I assume there was outrage that caused a backlash from the company.
The company didn't comment at all until the show was canceled.
When did she make the tweet?
It was it all happened today.
So in less than a day?
Yeah, it was canceled, and they took everything off the air, and they took it off of Hulu, and they took everything down. She's basically being erased.
That's weird. I wonder if there was already like signs that she was.
She's been
no,
very
she was
vocal.
on the edge. If this was something that pushed it over.
They said that the executives at ABC were always holding their breath when she used Twitter because she is very into conspiracy theories and very right wing and very off the rails. And I'll say that both the people that I've said this before, the far sides on each spectrum are pretty crazy.
I wonder if she signed something to, basically, something saying you'll be good. And I wonder if she. So how do you feel about the company taking over rather than like letting the viewers speak for themselves in a way, like boycotting it and letting the show just fucking fail?
That's a company not being responsible to responding to one of their employees.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
I have to sign a code of conduct
At
with
what
my
point
employer.
Did she say it was a joke?
Yeah, but that's just kidding.
Yeah.
At what point? I'm just still playing devil's advocate. Is a joke too far?
That
Any kind of form of harassment or speech and hate, that's not acceptable.
That's half of jokes.
But we're living in a time where we're trying to change things, not be blatantly racist.
I'm trying to think of a comparison, but if it's done in the name of humor,
But what's here you go. Okay, I'll play the other side of that. What part of that is funny?
that's what makes sense. If she's trying to cover up saying it was,
There's no
it
punchline.
was a
There's
joke,
no.
but if she just said as a matter of fact, it's not funny.
She's making a
But
comparison.
It's like Gilbert Godfrey trying to make stupid ass jokes.
Yeah, about the tsunami thing.
Yeah, and that wasn't.
Well, I'll get you this. Like back in the day, George Carlin said anything could be funny. He said rape, and he said picture Daffy Duck raping Porky Pig, and that was a joke that they said. But that's
Not real.
That's not. First of all, that's not real, and you're not hurting anybody personally. Well, I guess rape victims, if you're thinking of cartoons, I don't know the
A
connection
lot of
there.
people think that very.
Yeah, but that's actually an attempt at a joke. This is not even. I'm not even saying that's okay. I'm just saying that this is unacceptable completely because not only was it blatantly racist, but there is no form of joke, and she just tried to cover her ass because now she's going to lose a lot of money.
There's
shit.
progression in society now. We have to stop this whole narrative of, oh, they're from a different time. They have a different mindset. Like, you progress and you move forward. And it's just, it's different now.
I'd like to say that I shouldn't have started with something so political since we ended last week's with something so political.
I find it more sad for their cast members and crew. I don't know how many people that show provides a job for.
Oh, yeah, I agree
But-
with you 100%
So,
that.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. I feel like if Scrubs got canceled because Zach Braff fucking socked a kid for when he was on Punk'd,
Yeah, punked.
because he fucking beat up a kid. Like, I mean,
But the thing
That was also a
is-
controlled setting he was being played a prank on.
yeah,
he also-
but he still fucking beat a kid up.
He also didn't create that show based on his own name and comedy. They could have
No.
fired him and focused on Dr. Cox or Turk or
I'm trying to
anybody
think of
else.
Who else has also been like?
He was the butt
if
of the joke in that
Seinfeld did
situation.
something. So it's interesting. I don't feel bad for Roseanne. I don't follow her, so I know nothing about her except her character. But I feel bad for anybody who
Lost their
she's-
job because of
yeah,
that
exactly.
sucks.
And so I'm like, well, I
Those
wish
people
there
are
was some way around that, but
They interchange a lot. They go on to different projects. I'm sure they'll be fine. It sucks for actors probably to find another role that they were planning on playing for a whole nother year. But
Especially people that don't necessarily have big careers. Like John Goodman's going to get work, you know.
character was her daughter. I've never seen her in anything after.
which one?
I don't know. Was there more than one? I never remember.
Yeah, there was
watched
Becky and the brunette, and
Well, there
she
was-
did Big Bang Theory.
There was two Beckys.
That's true. Sarah Chalke was one of them.
Yeah, and they actually played into that in the show, I guess. And I guess the show was kind of being celebrated as not, kind of playing both sides of the political spectrum, which, I mean, I didn't watch it. I'm not a fan of Roseanne. I think she's annoying. I remember loving the Halloween episodes as a kid, but that was about it. But yeah,
That's interesting.
She got what she deserved. But you did make mention of something else that I wanted to talk about when you were saying that. Season 9, Walking Dead, will be Andrew Lincoln's last season.
Wow.
They announced that?
Today. It leaked and they confirmed it.
Interesting.
Not only that, but people like Michonne, Denai Guerra's character, and a few others are on their last contract.
So are they going to get signed for another contract?
Well, Andrew Lincoln leaving the show is a big deal. That is a really big deal.
Well, that means either Rick rides off into the sunset or he dies.
Or they recast him, but I don't see them recasting him.
I don't see them recasting him.
Not in that kind of show. When you can write out a character, it's extremely easy and the plot can keep going.
I wonder if he said he was done.
Well, I'm wondering if he was like, I'm going to sign on and do this zombie show. This will last a couple seasons. And then it lasts.
That only sucks in the way that you'll just be expecting. And basically, in your mind, Rick has not been untouched. I mean, he's almost been unkillable in the show.
Well, that's not true.
He's one of a few characters you don't expect that. No matter if he falls into a crowd of zombies, you assume he's going to live.
No, because they didn't follow all the storylines the same way they did in the comic.
Yeah, but there's no way you were thinking Rick was gonna get knocked off.
When was the last time you thought he was done for?
I don't know. I usually don't go too hard into that. Oh, who's gonna die? Who's gonna not survive? I was surprised when Carl died.
Yeah, that was surprising. Same thing with Dale. There was a few that I was really surprised on, but you never expected Rick to die.
If he does ride off into the sunset, it'd be cool if he still cameos every once in a while. Somewhere. I don't know.
Like, do they stick him on a settlement far, far away?
I don't know. It's a very interesting, and there was so much going on today that I didn't get a lot of time to kind of react to it.
Are you glad it leaked, or not glad?
I don't care either way that it leaked. It's just it kind of stinks, he's Rick. I mean, he's awesome. I don't really know what to say. I think it might be the beginning of the end of the show, if it doesn't end the show completely. I don't think that, as much as people on here might hate me for it, I don't think that Daryl can carry the show as the main focal point.
I agree. That's just not going to happen.
The governor.
Negan?
Or the governor.
Oh, dude, I would.
I
would sign on for a Negan. I would sign on for a Negan fucking show.
He took control of the group.
I could see, like Katrina said, kind of a Rick riding off into the sunset because he succeeded in maybe fulfilling Carl's wishes, like everything was at peace and blah blah blah.
Well, there's this whole storyline with Maggie trying to do her little back end stuff too, so who knows where that's gonna go.
That is such a
garbage.
Terrible,
I
yeah.
know. I agree.
It is garbage. But yeah, it's strange, man. It's gonna be its 9th season, and he's gonna be gone.
Good run.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm sure he's gonna have work. Like John Bernthal left the show and got
Punisher.
a decent amount of work. Yeah. So I mean, that's impressive. Like you said, it's a good run. I'm sad to see him go, because
Well, Kirkman's got a plan, and you got to figure that. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but he's not involved.
You don't think he's involved in the storyline at all?
Well, I mean, I don't think he's written an episode in a long time, and
but he has to have some kind of direction of where they're going.
AMC owns that. They could say, if he said one thing, they'd just say, okay, well, we're going this way.
We're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, they own the rights to the TV show, so I mean,
he's buying all the sit downs.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's involved, and it's out of a respect factor. But I mean,
he also has his comic and do whatever he wants to.
Yeah.
In that aspect. So what does he care?
I mean, he's always threatened about killing Rick off. Maybe he's just going to kill him off in the show instead of the book.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
How soon before Daryl leaves?
Well, he's
with Maggie.
No, the show.
Oh.
Because who's been around since season 1?
Daryl.
Maggie came in season 2.
Yep. Carl's gone.
Daryl.
Is there anybody else?
I don't think so.
Daryl.
Glenn's gone.
Glenn's way gone.
Andrea.
Daryl. Bueller.
Yeah.
Bueller.
Well, Morgan. But he had such a
but
gap.
he's not. He's also not on the
Fear
show
now.
anymore.
He's technically not on the show.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff. So yeah.
You were right.
Rickless.
This was a news-filled day.
Yeah.
A Rickless
What's
asshole.
next?
Spawn.
Okay.
Spawn is being made with Todd McFarlane involved and being made by Blumhouse, which I'm a fan of. That's been known for a while, but they actually cast Spawn today.
Who is it?
Official release. Do you guys want to take a guess?
I have no idea. I have no frame of reference.
The guy who plays in American Gods.
No, it's an Academy Award
Ricky
winner.
Riddle or Little?
It's Academy Award winner.
Oh, Denzel Washington.
No. Closer. Academy Award winner.
Forrest Whitaker.
Person can sing.
Oh, Donald Glover.
No, but no. But we'll get to him in this episode. We'll get to him. No guesses,
sing?
Corey?
I'm drawing blank.
Academy Award sing has a TV show on right now. That's a game show. Ooh, I got a little closer.
Jamie Foxx.
It is Jamie Foxx.
Katrina
Is it a
wins.
game show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a song show.
It's like you have to list
like
the
lip
song
sync
to
battle or
play.
something?
No, you have to name the song or the artist of whatever they play in the background.
Yeah, it's just started tonight for its second season, or it came back from a break. I don't know.
Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah,
Jamie Foxx, huh?
yeah, he's been cast as Spawn. Pictures up with Todd McFarlane today.
Interesting.
I think it is. I'm not a huge Jamie Foxx fan, but
He's a good
I've
actor.
liked some of his roles. Yeah, he's Django. He was excellent. He was good in Collateral. That's what I was going to say next. And he's
Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Baby Driver. He's shown that he can be funny. He was in the Due Date, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in a small part in Due Date.
He was his best friend.
He was his best friend
I saw it once. I don't
that had an
know.
unusually close relationship with his wife.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
No, I remember one scene in that movie. And I think it was where Danny McBride kicked somebody's ass. He was in a wheelchair. The Due Date.
What?
What movie was that?
Due Date was with Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah. One of them
Rob
went-
Riggle was in the. Yeah.
One of them went somewhere. Who's in
Was
a
it-
wheelchair?
Oh no, it was Danny
Kicked ass.
McBride. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was at the
remember
check
that.
cashing
I
place or
didn't
something.
think I was thinking of a different movie, but
No, that had a lot of small, like, weird things in it.
that's
Yes.
the one thing I remember about that movie, and that's weird.
That is
Yeah.
weird.
Saw it once. Whatever.
So yeah, Jamie Foxx cast and Spawn. It's supposed to be R-rated, kind of dark, gritty, but I think it was like a $50 million budget,
You
which
think
is.
it's going to be as good as Power Rangers?
Oh my
I hope
God.
it's better than Power Rangers.
That movie
You
was
like Power
awful.
Rangers.
No, I didn't.
Go listen to your review. You give a glowing review.
Did you re-listen to it,
No.
or is it just fucking Alan wearing off on you, saying I'm positive about everything?
No, I just want you to listen to it and be like, this liar, motherfucker.
I have to be positive on here because I'm so anxiety-ridden everywhere else. Corey.
And
Power
Negative.
Rangers is the best film of the year. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Okay,
think that was-
Brian.
I think we had Brian on that, and he was like, "Oh, when they did the music and they all did the."
That was my favorite part, to be honest.
Yeah, it was.
No, I'm good.
It was not good.
No.
There you go. There's a movie that I said is not good.
First time we watched, he said it was okay.
But what do you guys think about that?
I think he'll do a fine job.
I'll wait to see if he is actually involved once it gets that far.
Wasn't he Ray
Is he directing?
Charles?
That's what he got it
Who's
for.
directing? Is it actually?
I thought Todd McFarlane at one point was
Yeah.
writing and directing it,
Oh,
but
geez, that's a lot.
that seems a little.
And he's a busy guy.
I'm going to tell you guys the funny news story I saw, and then we'll close this out by talking about Solo for the rest of the thing. So it's not. I thought it was funny. You may not think it's funny, but I thought it was good. It says
Okay.
a woman in Sweden got tattoos of her kids' names, but the artist put an extra L in Kevin, making Kelvin. After a while, she liked the name and changed her kid's name to Kelvin.
What?
Do you not think that's funny?
That's interesting.
Like, how old's this kid?
He was 2.
How do you let the tattoo artist do that?
I mean, you
And
see
you didn't realize it?
you see things of misspelled tattoos all the time, to the point where I always check mine every once in a
You
while.
fucking mess up your kid's name. Unless the tattoos go on your back, you can't see it, and the guy's just fucking with you. I don't know.
But I mean, you can get tattoos removed. I'd be like, okay, dude, you tattooed the wrong thing on here. You're gonna pay for the removal. Not, you know what? I kind of like Kelvin. It's easier to just go change the kid's name.
Wait, that's a big process to go get your birth certificate changed and Social Security changed.
Yeah.
I would
One thing
know.
if the kid was cool with it. If it was like a teenage
He's
kid, is
2.
like, dude, I fucking love Kelvin. Yeah, let's do that.
He's 2.
I know. That's why.
That's just. I
He
thought
thinks
it was
his name
funny.
is No at that time.
Well, I was looking for funny, weird news stories, and it was all like conspiracy theory shit, and I'm like, I don't want to.
This is a conspiracy theory. The tattoo artist wanted to change the name.
You've seen that picture of that tattoo where the guy was tattooing on his ex's back, and he tattooed like the pile of shit with
That sounds familiar.
the flies flying all around it and stuff.
That's classy.
You did that and it didn't even register.
You have to hear it on playback.
Yeah, I can't wait to listen to this in playback. But yeah, that's I guess my not very good.
No, it's interesting. Dumbass people doing
Well,
dumbass shit.
Just thinking about what we went through to name our kids, I can't imagine going and changing their name 2 years later.
Yeah.
Eh.
You guys don't listen to like podcasts and shit, but there's this or even no, it's on Pandora. Do you listen to Pandora at all?
No.
Pandora.
No.
Okay, so there's this Hampton Inn commercial where it's this woman talking about taking her son. She's like, my son loves to read, but too bad it's only knights and fair maidens. And I'm like, bitch, what the fuck is this person talking about? I was like, you're pissed that your kid likes to read, and she's taking him to a comic book convention for his birthday. And that's the whole thing, is you're staying at a Hampton Inn for comic book convention. But I'm like,
Your kid's reading.
I was like, your kid's reading. Who the fuck cares as long as it's not super inappropriate shit?
Yeah.
You gotta make it. You gotta take a shot at comic books and shit while you're fucking doing an ad. Hampton Inn.
50 Shades of Grey or...
You know what, Hampton Inn? Fuck you. Fuck you and your stupid fucking ads, because I read comic books.
What?
Oh, I'm just saying, I fucking read comic books.
He wants to back you up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you-
he reads them.
Yeah.
You better bet your ass he reads those books.
You think a guy can't, just because a guy reads some comics, he can't kick some ass? I'm boycotting. I will never stay in a Hampton Inn
See,
again.
you went to comic books. You didn't think like sci-fi or fairy tale.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If your kid likes to read, who gives a shit? Let him read what he wants to read. Comics are a great way for kids.
Who reads about maidens?
I don't know.
That's a little...
Well,
What
they
do you
said knights
mean?
and fair maidens and stuff.
Oh, that's what I said, Knights and Fair Maidens?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just about maidens and shit. Not for me.
Times are changing, Corey. Times are changing. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a maiden that gets like Fiona in Shrek. She fucking got out and she was beating the shit out of people, wasn't she?
Yeah, when the
Once she got
alternate timeline.
Yeah, she kicked people's ass in the first movie, I remember.
Yeah.
That means
Yeah.
he hasn't seen beyond the first one.
No, I still
No, he has. We've had a discussion about which
Robert
ones.
hadn't watched them till...
No, I've seen all 4 of them.
Well, like, it
Yeah.
was way late.
No, I saw the
No.
first 2, or no, I saw the 4th one late.
That was it?
Yeah, because I didn't like the 2nd or 3rd one, but the 4th one is the one with Rumpelstiltskin that goes
Yeah.
back in time,
I
right?
think 2 is my favorite.
2's your favorite out of all 4?
Yeah.
You like 2
Really?
better than 1.
Yeah, it's 2, 1, 4, 3.
3's your least favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3's my least favorite.
I think that's
I watched 2 in
everybody's.
theaters.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how old I was, but I liked them. I thought it was funny as shit.
Here you go. Here's a personal story. And this shows how, I mean, I'm a little older. I'm not old, depending on who you're talking to. But I wanted to go see Shrek in theaters. And all my friends wanted to go just drive around town at night. I was probably 16, 17. So we're just driving around, find an orange tree. Picked a bunch of oranges, put them in a bag, and then they're proceeding to throw oranges at cars while driving around town. And I'm like, I just want to sit and watch Shrek. I was sitting in the middle of the back seat, not doing anything.
We've all been there, Robert.
Yeah, I was like, I was not a bad kid, so like doing stuff like that, I was like, oh, I don't like this.
They're giving free oranges to strangers.
Giving
Cars.
at a high velocity.
So here's the deal.
Orange juice, motherfucker.
This guy starts following us, and one of the people that I'm with throws an orange at that car
Of course.
as they're following us, and we take a turn on a corner, and he's on. I'm like, why is this guy on a CB radio? And within 2 minutes, we were surrounded by 3 or 4 squad cars. I can't remember who it was. He was an off-duty police officer.
Sheriffs.
I don't remember exactly. That his car got hit and he followed us, and we, I got in so much trouble. I think I was only grounded for like 2 weeks. But
Really?
Yeah. Well, I honestly, I like I'm saying, I was a good kid. I didn't throw any of the oranges.
Nowadays, the cops would just shot you.
I
Dude, I
want to
wasn't
see.
allowed to go anywhere.
I want to see Shrek, but no, the cops they like, oh, somebody did this to a church and no, it was somebody did this to a synagogue and they're thinking it might be a hate crime. We think you guys are responsible. It was basically cops just scaring the shit out of a bunch of kids that were doing some like back in the day when people egged cars and stuff or toilet paper stuff.
Hey, don't do this shit again, guys.
Yeah, it was cops just trying to scare the shit out of us. So we did it again, and for like the whole week we were like,
Oh fuck.
oh shit. And my buddy was like, oh my uncle's a lawyer and he looked into it and we're in trouble and like. Yeah, they all played along with it, and we were fucking terrified.
That's funny.
It became a long running joke, but it was funny at the time, or no, it was scary at the time. It's funny now.
You still do that?
I didn't do it then, but no, I don't do that now.
Would you rather just watch Shrek?
I'd rather watch Shrek.
So every time you watch it, you think about the oranges?
Yeah, and I've been trying to get the boys to watch it because it's on Netflix right
And
now.
they're like,
Here's some oranges, boys.
Yeah,
Let's watch Shrek.
that's what I'm gonna do. As soon as we watch it, I'm gonna pelt the kids with oranges.
It's like the good old days.
full circle.
Yeah. So that brings us to the bulk of our episode. Katrina, can you put some really good, like, funky music in right here?
There's effects. I don't know which ones you'd
No,
like.
with your mouth.
Really? There's an effect?
What?
Oh, I don't want to mess. What?
Drop the bass line.
No.
Go.
No, I'm not going to do that. So, Solo. Solo came out a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
What were your expectations going in?
Pour.
Ugh.
Pour to lukewarm. Piss warm.
And yeah, piss warm. Yellow, warm, piss warm.
Slightly warm down the leg.
Like, did you get stung by a jellyfish?
That's what the movie was, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't reading other people's reviews, but I just, from the trailers and stuff, I wasn't expecting anything. I thought the movie looked awful. I wasn't sold on the actor. You didn't really get any storyline from the trailers other than this is a Han Solo movie. But went in, watched it. What'd you think, Corey?
That was okay.
You thought it was okay?
Yeah. I'll be honest. When I went in, I basically didn't want to be there. I didn't feel too good.
Okay.
And it put a sour taste in my mouth watching it. But overall, I think trying to be fair enough to it. Because the whole time I'm just like, this movie, I just need it to end.
Why? Why'd you go if you weren't feeling good?
I feel obligated.
Why?
Because of this?
Yeah.
When
I had
did
a
you?
time
When
picked
did you
out and
go?
everything.
When did you go?
Saturday.
So you couldn't have pushed it off to
So
Sunday?
You weren't feeling good that day?
No, I didn't feel good when
Yeah.
I woke up.
I could
My
tell
fucking
because
head.
you freaking sounded like shit Friday night when we were
Yeah.
playing Gloomhaven.
So that's funny. But no, I had other shit planned, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. So, granted, I try to keep an open mind. Like, I'm probably disliking this more right now because I'm not feeling too good. I just want to get out of here. But overall, I don't think I laughed once. If that's so, I'm just,
Is it a comedy?
if every other movie in the world has funny moments funny moments of levity, so I can just it ties up with the action, everything full, all the good stuff in there.
Which it did.
It did make me laugh. The action scenes didn't blow me away, but it was not horrible. There was some really good parts in it, but overall, it was pretty okay.
I thought it was great.
Okay.
I didn't and I know it's got a low Rotten Tomatoes score. I think it's in the 70s.
It's low for Star Wars.
Anybody that I follow on Twitter or anybody on Facebook or anybody that I know, I haven't heard anybody. This is the worst thing I've heard anybody say about it is you.
Okay.
I haven't heard
It's
anybody.
all your mindset.
Yeah, because as soon as I let myself be sold on the fact that this guy is Han Solo, I enjoyed the entire movie. There was a few cheesy parts.
Which is granted.
I didn't particularly. I wasn't huge on Emilia Clarke's character. She was okay. I mean, at the end she was badass, but
Yeah.
she was just kind of okay in the middle. But I thought that the movie had a really good pace. I liked the actors in it. Woody Harrelson was great.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that it was a movie that started at the very beginning. That they were taking shit seriously. Like characters that you thought might be in it for a while died pretty early on.
Who are you referring to?
Spoilers. Thandie Newton,
Yeah.
her character. Woody Harrelson's crew. Like he
His
was in
pilot?
his pilot. He was in love with her, so it was weird that right away
They just all dropped.
they were just like, okay, we're doing this job, and then boom.
When I get to nitpick, you're gonna hear a lot of nitpicks. You guys are gonna just be upset, but that's what I do. That's what I bring. I wasn't a fan that. Woody Harrelson. I like Woody Harrelson. Love his
Weird seeing him with
everything.
hair.
What?
Weird seeing him
Yeah.
with hair.
His little comb
I
over
didn't think
thing.
about that.
Yeah,
It's
he's
funny.
bald.
I was more upset he didn't have a better story arc in the way that I assume people he's worked with long, his girlfriend or wife and a best friend were killed in that mission, and after his no scene, it was never brought up again.
I feel like he was more concerned that he was going to be hunted down by, what is it, Red Dawn? Was that what they were called?
Yeah, Red Dawn and their like cruiser ship.
Well,
and,
he
like,
owes a lot
there
of people
12
money.
guys. And so at the end of it, it came out like Warwick Davis and his band took out. I should know that gangster's name. Whoever Vision, whatever.
Paul Bettany?
Paul Bettany. He had. Okay, now I remember it after I watched the movie. Now I can't remember.
Didn't it start with the D.
It was two names, like Vor or something, or. But I just find his whole gangster crew consists of basically a crew of like 6 or 7 guys that got wiped out by Warwick Davis and the rebels, and then he was all alone on his freighter by himself, and that's who they were all super afraid of. And I was what a weak. I thought, in terms of physical intimidation, weak villain, because they show like he had cool little knives, but when Han Solo had a blaster and he was hiding behind a couch from a guy who has knives, I was like, don't be a bitch, man. Just pop up and shoot him. And then he went to do that. Amelia Clark knocked a gun out of his hand and said, "No, wait, let me do it." You dumb. You're gonna kill him anyway. So
I'm not following you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not
sorry.
either.
How was he weak? He held his own against somebody with a,
He
like,
destroyed that governor or whatever.
well, yeah, he stabbed that guy in the gut, but
they didn't even. They showed the scene when he was already dead. When they.
yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, as when he was fighting, first of all, those blades were awesome.
Yeah.
And second of all, he held his own.
It would help if there was some back and forth. Like you see him, like when he went against the Khaleesi, there was some cool
God.
fighting.
She has a name.
In the movie, Kira.
Kiara.
No, I said Amelia Clark, but
That too.
It's easier to just say Khaleesi.
it's a
Cool.
defining role.
And I'm gonna keep saying Vision.
That's fine.
Khaleesi, and
Paul Bettany.
fake Han Solo.
Alden Einrich. I don't know what his
Yeah.
last name is.
But their hand-to-hand fight was cool, but it was one part where, like, I was just like, oh, God damn it. Paul Bettany threw a knife at Han Solo, it stuck into the wall or something, and Han Solo took cover and stayed down there like, oh my God, what did I do? Paul Bettany was fucking across the room with one knife left, and Han Solo had his goddamn blaster in his hand. It's like, stand up and shoot him. And I don't know.
You don't know.
And then he didn't shoot him. He never shot him, and he freaking ran away. And
Maybe he's a bad shot, and that's why he didn't think that he could get him.
And he was
him shooting first was, I thought, one of the best parts in the movie.
Oh, Woody Harrelson? That's
Yes.
that's in my notes. Is I find it said Han shot
So,
first, and they're
As
leaving
many
it.
bad things I can point out, there's cool shit. So him shooting first, fucking awesome.
Yeah, when he's trying to give a speech too, just right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's such a bad change for George Lucas to try to change the Han Solo wouldn't shoot first.
Yeah.
So I like that he did what he
It righted some wrongs. I liked the fact that the movie was gritty. Like from the very beginning, it was a much grittier kind of like dirty movie, as opposed to the Star Wars movies. Maybe Rogue One a little bit was, but
I was a fan of the speed, or what do you call it? I guess land speeder.
yeah,
That chase. I like how that thing moves. Like
Yeah.
just how it has a lot of drift,
yeah.
and you can kind of torque up and.
Minus
Go
a few things
vertical?
here and there. I like the movie from beginning to end. I don't really have any complaints.
I
I like how he met Chewbacca. I thought that was cool.
I read some stuff after it made me think, oh yeah. Like the opening, it didn't have an opening crawl.
No,
And
it didn't. I
No.
thought that was
words.
weird.
And the opening words were just so like, I know every time it's written, it's not written out. It's just so redundant, I guess. But they made it seem like, I can't remember the lady's name. Basically that little sea creature lady. It's like we have.
I think it was cool.
Yeah, but the way it's talked about in the opening crawl, like she's going to be the main villain. Like Lady whatever is overseeing all this slave, and
I
they have
didn't get
to.
that.
when her
They're-
name's mentioned in the opening crawl and she's in it for about 12 seconds, that's a little weird.
They're just opening the scene for the movie.
Yet you didn't complain for 3 or 4 months of Deadpool 2 promoting X-Force and them dying in like 2 minutes.
That was a purposeful twist. They actually filmed more shit with them and put it in, like, to trick audience. I think that's funny.
I do too.
But you had never heard of Lady whatever.
No, but I mean they're just gangsters. I didn't take that she was going to be the main villain.
Right.
So-
They were just opening the opening
I think
act.
the movie could have done 100% without the opening crawl because it was just redundant. Like, it was gangsters fight for resources, food, water, and all caps, hyperfuel. Like, pay attention to that word. And among the dirty streets of Corsola or
Corelia.
Aurelia, a couple rogues fight to survive against Lady Squidbert.
I'd venture to say that
She's a trafficker.
I'd like to watch them all again, all the new Star Wars movies. But I really like this. I like this.
You liked it better than Rogue?
Other than the Vader thing at the very end,
Yeah.
like if you took that one scene out in Rogue One.
Oh, I thought you were saying that's a bad thing.
No. If you took
No.
that out, I think I like this better. It was just so much more down to earth. There was no.
Good thing, Lando.
Oh, he was great.
Donald Glover was.
I'm as biased because I love Donald Glover, but I think his mannerisms
Were spot
match
on.
pretty well. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
and I like the origin of how he got. So a couple things I like the origin of, some I don't. I like the whole. They explained how he got the Millennium Falcon,
Hmm.
cheating at Sabak.
Yeah.
Fucking love that. I didn't like the origin of the name Solo.
Yeah.
I did.
See, I've seen a lot of complaints about that the people didn't like that the Empire are the people that gave him his name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He didn't have one. That was the point.
that would be cool.
is he didn't have a name.
If he had picked his own name right there, Han Solo. You know,
He
But
was that downtrodden that he was only referred to as Han. He
Yeah.
had a name.
I like that. But if he had made it, if he is a man who makes himself, like he makes his own.
I can.
choice in life?
The rest of your stuff is garbage. I can respect that because it's like he's been against the Empire basically. I mean, in one way or another for as long as we've seen him, and the fact that they named him, I don't know. I thought the Mud Troopers were cool. We've never seen those before, have we?
No, I would say this is the first Empire troops you've seen with open masks.
Yeah. No, I
kinda-
really liked that whole scene.
It was World War One-esque.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, like gritty and dark, and I really liked that it was just. It's a different part of the Star Wars universe than we've ever seen because even Rogue One had lightsabers and it had
This is the first one without the Empire as the main enemy.
yeah, it had the Empire and this was its own. I really hope that with as much charisma as Donald Glover had and as well as he played that part, that I know there's people already clamoring for a solo movie or not a solo movie, a Lando movie.
This movie is very open-ended.
Yeah, it didn't
Right.
feel
Yeah.
like it's a single contained movie. It felt
No.
like they.
People have been signed
continue.
on for 3 movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at least the main. I think
Emilia Clarke.
it was her, and it might be it. I don't know if they signed.
Well, they
Oh.
got to continue the mall. What's going to go on with him?
Well, yeah,
So-
they wouldn't have showed him. Well, let's talk about that. They wouldn't have showed him if they weren't gonna.
Which was awesome, by the way. I didn't know that was coming.
yeah. Nobody. Did you know it was coming?
Did I talk to you about it?
No.
Okay, somebody mentioned, I think Darth Maul's in this movie. I said, and so I was talking with somebody at work on the timeline on that. Like, fuck, Darth Maul would be 20 or 30 years older.
So yeah, the timeline is this happened between episodes 3 and 4, correct?
Yes,
So Darth Maul died.
in episode
Died.
1.
Quote. But I know that in the books and
Where-
stuff,
well, books,
Clone Wars
mostly.
Clone Wars.
Because after they wipe the extended universe, they keep a few things, but Clone Wars is legit canon.
Okay. So in Clone Wars, even though I haven't watched all of it or most of it, I've watched a little bit. He's around. Did they ever go over? Do you know?
I've heard just from the internet now that he came back and his sole idea thing is he wants vengeance against Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that in the Clone Wars that Obi-Wan kills him. I don't know if that's true because I haven't watched it.
How good would that be if that's part of the Kenobi movie?
Maybe, but this will have to take place before he reveals himself to Obi-Wan. If Obi-Wan kills him in the Clone Wars and he has an apprentice and everything.
I'm liking this.
But timeline-wise, how much older is he?
Well,
'Cause Anakin was 10 in episode 1.
we also don't know how. I mean, what was his race?
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
how do they age?
Yeah, we don't know how
you
they age.
But just say, is it?
He looked older.
It was Ray Parks, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it
Ray
was Ray
Park.
Park.
Is Ray Parks as much older as Darth Maul should be?
I don't know.
Because it's been
20 years?
Yeah.
I thought he looked great.
It registered that.
Sorry.
That's okay. Not very much, though. No, I wasn't expecting him to be in it. It was kind of along the same lengths as Yoda in Last Jedi.
His voice, I heard, wasn't Ray Parks.
Well, Ray Park didn't do his voice in the original either.
Did he not?
No, it's the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Pete.
Well, this one, it was the guy who does his voice in Clone Wars.
Oh, nice. I mean, at least they give him that. Well, I mean, you know that Peter Mayhew wasn't Chewbacca at all in this movie, right?
Nope.
It was
I
the
wouldn't
guy that
expect
did it
him
in
to.
The Last Jedi. I mean, or that did the physical parts in the last couple movies. I love seeing Warwick Davis. I mean, I know you touched base on that. I actually kind of,
Got a speaking line this time?
I'm honestly kind of squealed in the theater. So I was like, it's Warwick Davis.
Placing of the Howard brother. That
Oh
was
yeah,
good.
Clint Howard.
Funny.
Yeah, I love that Clint Howard was in it.
You like the robot?
It
L3?
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
okay.
That was a bit much.
I was fine with it, but K2SO is the better of the new robots. I like K2SO better than I liked BB-8, to be honest with you. You know who K2SO is?
Yeah, no,
That's
I
Alan
do.
Tudyk.
Yeah.
I like.
I
he's
thought this
my
was another
favorite new
rehash.
droid.
Like they had to have a droid with another like personality quirk. I don't know. Like every droid, I guess, got it. C-3PO is like a natural born coward. And
Speaking of that, Anthony Daniels was in the movie, but I didn't see who he played. I saw his name in the credits, but I didn't see
oh, that's funny.
who he played.
For the droid in this one, I don't remember the name. I just kept hearing. I thought it was Brienne of Tarth for.
That's
That's
what Robert
exactly
said.
what I said
And
when
I
we got
looked
to the
it up and
theater.
it was
It's
not.
not. It's,
Yeah.
it's some very strange looking
I was
person.
like, where'd they get her again? But it sounded
Again.
very
Oh, she
similar.
was Captain
Yeah,
Phasma.
she
I
was
just
Captain
forgot
Phasma.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like her a lot. I said that to Katrina when we were leaving.
He's
I
like,
was
"Is that her?"
Is that her?
Yeah.
I looked it up as well during the credits.
Man, I ended up really liking this movie so much more than I ever thought I would have. And I know that's a thing that happens when you're not expecting much out of a movie, and I wasn't expecting anything out of this movie. But I think that the last couple Star Wars movies have been judged unusually hard. I think that a lot of people want to see everything bad in them because it's Disney and because they feel like it's not the same as when George Lucas was doing them.
Because he did
or-
better continuing
or-
the story.
Some of that criticism's got to be fair, though.
No, and it is, but I think people judge it way harder because it's Star Wars. And like
for
you,
sure, it's got something to live up to. But episode 7, I don't think disappointed. Whereas 8, like critics just
tore it apart.
Yeah.
Because it feels like if anything's new, if anything's changed, if anything's strays too far from what people want.
For me, is if it fucks up, if it makes the 4, 5, and 6 worse in a way, like if. So it is going to another movie, but
Yeah, no, that's fine.
if Luke's whole story becoming like a Jedi again, and he's gonna at the end is so happy he's gonna rebuild the Jedi Order, and then you get to episode 8 and all they just fucking failed.
Did you get the impression he was going to rebuild the Jedi Order?
Yeah.
If you played any video games ever or
Oh,
read
see-
any books after
I didn't.
episode-
I've only read a handful of books, and some of them were about Qui-Gon Jinn, but
Yeah.
I always got the feeling that Return of the Jedi, he was going to bring
Yeah.
I
the Jedi
didn't.
back.
In most expanded universe, which takes place countless things, he rebuilt the Jedi Order, and there was still a litany of problems. There's another thing invading the galaxy, and Han Solo had twins. One of them was evil. It's same old shit, but Luke wasn't a fucking failure at restoring the Jedi.
See, I didn't get that impression.
That's what I've always felt. Like, what was the point of it all then if he wasn't
It was
going to...
a closure of, a period of time.
But then what did Luke just sat on his front porch for the rest
No,
of his life?
I didn't feel that he was going to be responsible for resurgence of the Jedi. That's a lot of pressure to put on one single person.
It
for the
is, but
entire
it was
galaxy.
Return of the Jedi. I mean, it's...
It's not like he
Because he
started-
brought Vader
It's
back.
not like he instituted
got
like
that.
a galactic-wide.
No, Return of the Jedi is referencing him and referencing him bringing them back. I didn't think it was referencing him bringing...
He was training just like this. It would have been dozens of students at best. It wasn't like he got the whole galaxy to fucking send him
My message was that he brought Vader back to the Jedi, not that.
I've never heard that or thought that or seen that anywhere. That's a unique
That'd be
unique
That's what I
perspective.
thought.
that'd be Return to the Jedi. Huh. But
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's a unique perspective. I've never thought of it that way. I don't think it's right, but
That's okay.
whereas the Last Jedi spelled out in the movie,
yeah.
when I kill you, it'll be the end of the Last Jedi.
Katrina, I know you were one of the few people I knew that was hyped going into this movie. So since Corey and I sat and just talked about it for 10 minutes, let's hear your thoughts.
I absolutely loved it. It was great. It gave me everything I wanted in an origin story of
Unlike
him.
your husband.
That's not fair. Anyways,
So maybe sleeping solo.
Nice.
I liked the name of him being given his name and he didn't have it.
You're a bad person.
I'm not a bad person. I thought it was good.
What did you hate?
What
Did
did I hate?
Let your anger take over. Good.
I liked the land speeder getting caught when he was
Anger
trying
leads
to
to hate.
escape out.
Hate leads to suffering.
You guys always do this shit to me.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize. Please go ahead.
You like the speeder getting caught?
Yeah, in the beginning when they were trying to escape away and it gets caught up on the side and he
Yeah,
doesn't
I mean,
make it through the end.
it showed that not everything's going to be perfect. I like that.
So I thought he was quirky where he should have been quirky. I liked how it showed that Han had hope when he was younger.
And it got beat out of him over
and he
time.
just got warped.
Yeah. You get betrayed.
And
That, you know what? I never took it that way. You know, we know Han as a middle-aged man and an
cynical
old
as
man.
fuck.
We didn't know him as a young man. So to see that he did have hope, you know, I didn't think of it that way until you just said that.
Probably
I
not
kind of
till
like that.
Kira drove off in the spaceship. Like,
Well,
yeah,
there's got to be more to that story.
there is. I'm almost disappointed that they didn't talk about it all. Like, throughout the whole time, she just kept rebuffing his question. Like, oh my God, what have you been? I don't want to talk about it. You know, I've done a lot of
Well, she's
stuff.
been in training,
It's
obviously.
probably because she's killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be revealed that if she's not Darth Maul's apprentice, she's about to be.
Well, they're technically part of the Federation.
Ooh,
So I
like that.
She had the same symbol on her little cloak that he was wearing in the last scene. Did nobody catch that?
No.
Who was wearing?
So
I didn't.
Kiara had that little symbol, that little DB thing that she wore with her cloak, and Maul was wearing the exact same thing.
Was that the Red Dawn symbol or was it different?
No, it was different.
Huh.
It
I didn't
wasn't.
catch
It wasn't
that.
the little ring. It was
Crimson
something
Dawn.
else.
Crimson Dawn, thank you. Not Red Dawn.
That's a movie.
Yeah, it is. Crimson Peak?
So
Crimson Tide.
I didn't catch that. That's interesting.
High Tide.
I was a little weirded out that unless there's it's going to build on it, but
Tide
is there
balls.
something going on with Darth Maul? Is he just reverted to becoming a gangster? Like, that seems like a weird.
I don't. They were working for the
Life
Federation. Their little visors, those little guys in the black suits.
They're working for the Trade Federation.
No, well, isn't it the
You
Federation?
mean the Empire?
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
The Trade Federation is the weird guys.
Yeah.
The fish guys.
The
Right?
fish guys, yes. And the Empire is the bad guys.
Yes. So, do they make it seem like the gang? Because they focus on gangs in this movie. They talk about multiple gangs.
They were talking about how there was a correlation between the Crimson Dawn and
The Empire.
Galactic Empire.
Is that what the rebels were talking about? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So does that mean
They're the same team.
Darth Maul's in league with the Empire, but he's not fulfilling any Sith-like duties anymore?
I don't
We
know,
don't
but his
know.
lightsaber was
He
all.
wouldn't try
Because
to find
obvious-
his old master?
Yeah, because as I say, obviously at this time, the Emperor is still around. So it would be either he is in contact with him, or the Emperor doesn't know he's back, and he has resorted to a life of crime. I don't know.
What am I thinking? If he was in the Clone Wars cartoon, I read something that said, it said in a line that he would eventually be killed by Obi-Wan again. But the Clone Wars takes place between 2 and 3, and this is between
It's
3
not like
and
it's
4.
going to necessarily follow that either.
So this is supposed to be after all that happened. So he already went back and tried to get Obi-Wan, and I guess failed, obviously. Okay, I guess hopefully it'll be explained more.
Well, he's obviously heading to Tatooine to work for Jabba, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, that could be a whole extra movie.
If they made, like, even if the next movie isn't, like, he signed on for 3, isn't a solo movie, but the next one's supposed to be Boba Fett,
Yeah.
if it takes place in the timeline right when Solo gets there and they're, like, tight,
Yeah.
and all those characters
If it's
match,
like half and half.
and then the next one after that is, like, Lando, and they all match,
Did you like the "I hate you"? And he's like, "I know." Nobody.
Who said that to? I didn't catch
Lando.
that.
Lando said it to him.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that. That's funny.
that was good stuff.
Can I do a couple more nitpicks? See how you guys react. I want to see the disgust.
Why?
We always look at you in disgust.
Yeah.
Okay, Han Solo gets thrown into Chewbacca pit. For one, it's funny. Chewbacca's eating people.
Yeah.
He was tearing off arms.
He
Yeah.
did tear off arms in this, which is great.
Yeah,
They
that's
assumed he was eating people.
Oh wait, really quick, did you notice the Back to the Future reference?
What was it?
When Han is going to the core or whatever, the vault to get that stuff, he flips up his mask, and it's an exact. It looks like an exact shot, at least from my memory, an exact shot of when Michael J. Fox lifts up his hazmat mask, and just the way it fell and everything. It
Marty.
looked exactly like Marty when he crashes the
DeLorean.
DeLorean and comes out.
Huh. I'd have to see that. I didn't pick up on that.
And
either.
I'm fairly certain that was on purpose, not
Just for funsies.
just for fun.
Okay.
Anyways, go ahead.
So
I don't like it, Corey.
in canon, Chewbacca has eaten people, and while not explicitly said,
Have you ever seen the movie Alive?
People eat people.
yeah.
When
But-
When it comes down to it, you
Chewbacca
will
would
do what
eat
you
a
want.
little porg or porgy.
he had food available to
Yeah.
them, then when
That's
you
The fact that Chewbacca's tasted humans, we gotta put that dog down.
no, it's what like Wendigo. Is that what you're talking about?
What?
Like once you get a taste for human flesh, that's all you want to
You
eat.
just eat the
Yeah,
rude.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
I like that he went to rescue the other Wookiees.
yeah, that was cool. Okay, so here's the fact he eats people is it's canon, not I don't care. The fact he was attacking Han, Han and Han being called Han by Lando. Love that. My name's Han. Okay, Han.
Wait,
Yeah. Lando said, Han, good to see you.
no, he said Han.
He said, my name's Han. And he kept calling him Han.
No, what?
It's
What?
vice
You're
versa.
vice versa.
You're
Or
getting
is
it
it the other way
backwards.
around?
Yeah, his name's Han
Han?
Solo, not Han Solo.
Did
called
Lando
him
say
Han.
Han?
Yeah,
Yes.
he said Han.
Okay. Wait a minute. But he said it just like,
Yeah,
um,
you liked that.
I did like that.
Okay, because I thought you said you were about to nitpick with
I
all
went to
stuff.
pick
Yeah.
Chewbacca. The fact that Han was saying, stop, please stop, and then he starts speaking in Wookiee. Nobody's ever spoken to Chewbacca in Kashyyyk language before. And the fact that he talked in it for a minute, it was like, okay, so he knows how to speak Kashyykian, I guess.
Like Dory and the whale.
But the fact that Chewbacca stopped when he perfectly understands English, the rest of the movie he hears and understands English perfectly fine.
Because people who speak other languages don't pretend to not understand English.
It's just weird. I mean,
We pretend to not understand
it
you
would
all the
make sense
time.
if it was the other way, where Chewbacca was to tear him apart, and he's saying stop, and then Chewbacca says something in Kashyyyk, and he says, "Oh wait, I understand you." No, dude, I speak it, and keeps talking in English about like.
I get what
I get
what
the-
you're saying, but that
Yeah.
is a very
It's stupid.
specific nitpick.
Has
It's like
anybody ever tried to speak Wookiee to a Wookiee?
no, but I mean,
The fact that
He said he knew
can-
a little bit. Like he didn't even know the full. Like he could understand.
understands everything Chewbacca's saying from the get-go, 100%.
maybe it's like somebody that can understand a language but can't speak it
I
very
can
well.
read Spanish.
I have no
I
problem
can't
with
speak it.
him being able to understand it, and if they explain it. But the fact that he has to speak it for Chewbacca to stop attacking him, and then reverts back to English.
Maybe it's one of those things where, whoa, wait, this is somebody
It
I can actually
creates-
communicate with.
Right.
Like, communicate with... Like, if it had worked, if Chewbacca was saying something in his language, like, I'm going to rip you apart, he says, no, don't rip me apart, and Chewbacca would stop. Be like,
No,
well,
I do-
can actually communicate with
I
this
do
guy.
understand. I do get what you're saying, but I don't think it's that big of a
You're
deal.
reaching,
It
dude.
was a reverse language, like, it's the fact that a human is trying to imitate a Wookiee noise, which ostensibly might just sound as offensive. It might be trying to, like...
He was trying to establish
Like
communication.
trying to speak Chinese when you don't speak Chinese, you just end up making sounds, and it's offensive.
I can. I see what you're. I do. I see what you're saying. I'm just. I don't know if it's.
Here's another one. I don't know. This is more like story-wise. I don't know how Han Solo made it 3 years in the Empire before going rogue. It seemed like that could have flashed on the thing 1 week later, and him being.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you had to go through boot camp.
I think
Right.
like story-wise, it made 6 months later. I think story-wise it made sense just because it had to give Kira a big amount of time to have a mysterious backstory.
Well, he got demoted from flight school.
Yeah, I think he would have fucking hop ship fucking after like 6 months.
He had nowhere to go.
I mean, well, he had to go back to Karelia.
you
Not,
think
he didn't have a way to
he
get
was a
there.
super friendly guy. He was, his whole battalion would have been his friends. They would have been hanging out in space and
no, but yeah, now you're just assuming.
well, I used to that. It seemed like basically we cut 3 years later. He was the same person, same naive. He didn't know it. Basically, he didn't.
Did it
like
say 3 years later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that either. I mean, it'd just be waiting for the opportunity. You also forget a lot of your goals when you're stuck in the middle of shit.
yeah, I don't know if he was fighting like that the whole time, or if half was legit being stuck on a spaceship with nothing to do with 40,000 other dudes.
It could also be that he had a year of boot camp and then a year of flight school and then he got demoted.
But judging by the way they shoot, I'm guessing they didn't have any boot camp for that long.
What do you mean they couldn't hit
Stormtrooper
anything?
They just
Yeah,
throw him
they-
in a cockpit. Hey, go fly
Yeah.
around.
Hey, the stormtroopers of today's Star Wars have gotten a lot better
At
at
shooting?
hitting than the original.
Unless you're a main
Trilogy.
character, they miss you. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like there's one more little nitpick.
You have to see the
coming.
Kessel Run.
Oh,
We've been waiting to see that forever.
this is the biggest one.
That's your
That's
nitpick?
That's your biggest nitpick?
What's wrong with that?
Okay,
Stop yelling.
I'm just going to set up in the terms of Star Wars lore.
It's one of the biggest
Oh my
things.
God.
So, in Episode 4, when you first meet Han Solo,
I thought it was underwhelming,
yeah, he's surprised when Luke Skywalker
and I liked the movie.
has never heard of the Kessel Run, or that he broke the record of the Kessel Run. So, it's funny because he said it was in 12 parsecs is distance, not time. So, I think it was Lucas just picking like a word that sounded cool. And then
Sounds about right.
a bunch of fanboys tried to reconfigure like why that made sense. Oh, it's like he took a shortcut in this race or something. And I think that was expanded universe shit. But so it was brought back again when Rey met Han Solo, and she's like, "No, he's not the famous general. He's that smuggler who made the Kessel Run in less than 14 parsecs, 12 actually." And so if it's a galactic-wide like thing he's renowned for, why is he renowned for it when the Kessel Run seems like a made-up run between Planet Kessel and some random planet they had to go to that was abandoned that only like 5 people saw him do and nobody would fucking give a shit? He was the one who cared the most about it.
Like
Like,
Star-Lord?
The Kessel Run wasn't a thing. It's just them going from one planet to another.
Well, I mean, obviously it was a thing because they said that you can't make the Kessel Run in less than 20 parsecs.
Who's done that before?
Well, it was looking
People
like
that were
people
trying
who
to
were smuggling unrefined whatever it was.
It seemed like it could have been a thing when they had to barely spitball the idea with their life on the line in front of.
It seems like it's a
Against
smuggler thing, not an entire galaxy thing.
right.
I'll admit that it was I was expecting it to be some sort of race or
Yeah.
or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, what else would it be?
Why would he
Shut
expect,
up! Get that smug
I'm
look off your
sorry.
Like,
face.
10 years later, why would he expect Luke Skywalker on Tatooine to ever fucking hear of the Kessel Run? That
No,
seems like a weird thing. That like they made the Kessel Run something that nobody saw, nobody witnessed it except Lando, Han Solo, Chewie, and Kira. But if Kira dies, then the next one then is 3 people.
I'm fine with the whole situation, but for it to be, I just expected it to be a race,
Right. Which is the way they talk about a Kessel Run. Like,
or like when
something,
people were smuggling moonshine.
something that people
But to Katrina's credit, that's what it honestly sounded like. It's people that are going to try to steal unrefined. What was
I
it
guess
called?
Hyperfuel?
Unrefined hyperfuel. They have to make this run.
Why would that become like such a favorite thing? Oh my god, this guy doing this illegal thing. Or we're keeping track
To
of
make
who,
money.
Who
Well,
has the
because
fastest
how-
time.
how much money did it end up being worth? It was like millions of credits.
Probably hundreds of millions of credits.
That's
Right.
why
But it's so weird
we've
that
heard.
they time it. It's like, oh my god, have you heard of the?
You
it'd
become
be,
the sought after pilot
you know,
to go
and
get it.
now I'm
faster.
on Katrina's
like-
side.
It would be like, oh my god, do you hear about the Fort Knox run? I know somebody who stole from Fort Knox and did it in less than 12 minutes.
It'd just be like talking about a famous bank robbery.
but it'd be like
Be
multiple.
like, hey, these guys got in and out of this bank in 30
It'd
seconds.
be like multiple banks or the same bank being robbed multiple times, and the robbers are trying to beat each other's time.
That happens with serial killers where they tray to beat
Yeah.
numbers.
He robbed that bank in 12 minutes. I can do it in 11.
I'm sure that happens among crooks. They have these stupid things in their head.
That would be.
Because
I'd
you're
be
getting
more
hired
concerned
for a
about how much
job.
money you got away with.
Not that bank, but a bank.
Why didn't I care about? I did the Kessel Run with $12 million worth of loot. Not like
I'm not in either one of your corners. You're being too nitpicky and you're being
But
too naive about
you
it.
think-
Okay.
if
I'll
you
take
rob
it.
from somebody.
I think I'm the normal one here.
This is something I was going to pick on. You can't help this in movies, but if in a whole galaxy full of people, you leave somewhere for 3 years, you end up on somebody's pleasure cruise, and there's your girlfriend you left at home, a million miles away. Oh,
Yeah,
hey, there you are.
But like you
I was
said,
coming to find you.
if those things didn't happen in movies, we wouldn't have movies.
I know. It's still. I can still go. Son of a bitch.
But that's a real shitty way to look at movies, though. If you
You're
can't,
setting yourself up to not like
Can you
it.
imagine like flying to France and then finding Katrina there and go, "Hey, I was just." gonna
I
get back
moved
to you."
500 miles away from home, and I ran to people I went to high school with. It happens.
Yeah, but you know a whole lifetime of people. It's not like the one person that you're fucking looking for.
on a much like less scale, I've ran into at least 10 people at Disneyland before.
Yeah, but you have like 1,000 people you recognize, and they all live in California. So the odds.
I understand. I'm just
But
saying.
it would be like if Katrina got lost.
But I'm saying if you
I
can't
don't know.
suspend some disbelief,
That's why it was,
you can't
it
enjoy
was
movies.
the least nitpick.
You're like the Armand White of
Because
fucking.
It didn't affect the story. It's just like, yeah, I believe this.
Well, I mean, how you
Oh my
can't
God.
you can't think that these gangsters go pick up people that have nothing for them, try to recruit them. That's what gangs do
No,
here.
I'm sure. It's just coincidence. Like the one person he's looking for. Like, hey, I was on.
But he wasn't looking for her at that time.
No, I was on World War I planet. I'm gonna hook up with these guys, and those guys lead him right back to the.
Because I'm
girlfriend.
sure of women who have nothing have never been taken into slavery before.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah. Shut up.
All the slave people on that planet would have taken her as a slave 10 times before Corin Voss got there, whatever his name is. Stupid little nitpick. This is just fun.
It's not for
It's
us.
not fun.
I'm trying to. I wish I. Everybody had weird names, except
We were just watching
Bennett. His first name was something
Tobias.
Tobias Bennett.
Tobias
got-
is not a common name.
When you got like Cor Voss, Kira, and there's just looking at the list, they're all like Admiral Holdo, and then you got
Wasn't his
Han?
chick's name Maud?
Mod. That sounds weird enough.
That's
But-
not. It's a
That's
regular
not.
name.
It's a very
It's just an
common
older
You
name.
got
name.
Tobias.
It's like Tobias is an older name.
Yeah.
Just every Star Wars name is usually not any name in the English language.
Luke, Leia.
you know,
Han.
Skywalker. Leia's not. You think Leia was super popular?
No, but I mean, it's like it doesn't sound like we've heard it over and over and over again for years,
No.
but it's not
I think Luke was probably the most normal.
Yoda,
But I-
Chewbacca,
Not normal, no.
Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you forgot his real name was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah,
So I thought it was funny when I seen his name. So Tobias. I like to think it's Tobias Funke.
yeah.
So I'm like, Tobias Bennett.
But if her name
Tobias Banahata.
if her name was Maud and his name is Tobias, those are just kind of older names. Maud.
Mod.
Do you say for the after credit scene?
Fuck you.
Yeah,
There's an in memory of for somebody.
I didn't see who it was for.
There was two, wasn't there?
I don't know. I mean, out of the 9 to 5 nerds crew, 2/3 of us liked it. So,
I have to give it a second chance, but Walking Out, I'd put it below Rogue One.
I'd put it above Rogue One. I'd put it above.
So all the talk, I had no problem with the actor at all.
No, I didn't
I
either.
liked him.
I
So-
actually did like him.
I'd like to see what was fucking shot before.
That they got, yeah,
Acting lessons.
yeah. I doubt they'll
that
release
and
that.
Who came in and filmed it? It was
Ron Howard took over.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the other cut because he had to do extensive reshoots, right?
Yeah, enough to where the other guy wasn't credited as the director. I don't believe.
Yeah, and it was two guys. Two guys got fired. They were
Yeah.
co-directing. Can't remember who either.
You're not gonna hit every time.
No.
But- I wonder if that was like an extreme save or if it was just a slight
I'm
change of focus.
I'm trying to decide. I mean, like I said, I just watched it, so I'd have to watch both these again. I'm trying to decide if I like it better than Last Jedi, because
That's weird. I'd feel closer about that.
Last Jedi had that, like, even after I read some stuff about it with the Casino Planet and why it was done and stuff, it was just kind of, meh. And I like Last Jedi, but I think part of it is that I went into this movie not expecting much, and I actually liked it a lot.
That's what you should do for every movie.
And
That's what you should do with life.
That's
People
true.
have too many
Go
high
into life not
expectations.
expecting much.
It's just awful. You ruin everything.
Yeah, I should
Talking
say,
about you specifically.
Yeah.
I nitpick a lot, but there was a lot of good shit. Like, the guy with the forearms was awesome. That whole train heist, I
Yeah.
enjoyed
That was great.
very thoroughly. I was looking forward to the.
I liked I mean, on an aesthetic note, I liked the Marauders' helmets and outfits and their speeder bikes.
It reminded me of that one comic book.
Extremity?
Yeah,
A little bit.
very much. And I was wondering if that girl was going to play, if she was going to be somebody in the Alliance later on. But I'm thinking, I've seen somebody poking holes in it. This is not even a nitpick I would endorse. That Han Solo should be rubbing in the rebellion's face that he just basically started the rebellion by giving him $100 million. And like when it comes like with Princess Leia, he should be like, listen, fucker, I did my part a long time ago.
Didn't he do that?
I don't know if he never mentioned working with the rebellion.
No, he didn't. But he made
God,
snide comments
like a
that
Han
he
Solo
had already
thing
done
that
his job.
he should have been holding it over their heads the whole time, unless he didn't know it was directly helping.
Just
the
reported
Four
on
rebellion.
Just reported.
What?
Lauren Cohan only returning for half of season 9 of The Walking Dead.
She's gonna die.
That's Maggie.
Why is all this leaking?
I don't know. But yeah, we got to wrap up here. We're on a
So Solo, the name given to him by an Imperial officer. Okay, pretty okay.
that was an okay part. I really liked the movie. I hope that they continue, like you said. There's 3 movies. I could see a lot more story here than just a standalone Star Wars movie like Rogue One. So hopefully they'll keep it going. Katrina, closing thoughts?
I have
liked
none.
it.
What?
She liked it.
I liked it a lot. It was really fun.
It's nice that you went in liking it and liked it on the way out, as I went in not wanting to like it because I thought it looked bad and liking it anyways. And Corey's just
Himself.
What's funny is Corey's our negative Nancy here, our nitpicker.
Are all my nitpicks invalid?
I would
Well,
say
you
like
answer
more than half of them are invalid.
The Solo thing, I've read a lot of people didn't like that, and I can understand that one. I didn't have a huge problem with it, but I can understand it. I liked the Kessel Run, but I expected it to be something more grand. Other than that, I didn't really.
The Chewbacca one?
No, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with them happenstance being on the ship. That's every movie.
That's
can't,
a movie trope.
Yeah, you
can't
can't
get over that. That's fucking everything.
Other than movies that are like, what was that movie with Tom Hardy where he's the moonshine guy? Sometimes when movies are just slices of time, like it's not like there's not. It seems like they're a period piece where it's lawful, unlawful.
Lawless.
Lawless.
There you go.
It's just like it was about these like moonshine gangsters. I really liked that movie, and it was just like.
Did they do the same thing?
No, I'm saying it's just like a slice of time. It's not.
It's a period piece.
It's not like you said.
It's not
They
an
didn't. Somebody didn't.
globetrotting?
Yeah, somebody didn't happen to be here at this time and happened to do this and happened to do this, and that's how it causes a story. It just kind of came together. But no, we gotta close up shop here. Our Patreon episode is up, so if you are a Patreon member like Alan or Gabby or the countless others that we have don't have a lot. There is a bonus episode up there for you, and it was a pretty fun talk. Next week, I'm gonna try to get my cousin on here to.
Oh boy.
Yeah, to
So we can ridicule and get.
yeah, what we're gonna do
back.
is he's not a nerdy guy, and we're gonna talk to him about nerdy stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Twitter. I opened my Twitter up to be messaged by anyone. So even if I don't follow you, you can send me a message and send me a question to ask this non-nerdy person. Make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes. We are on all different kinds of things like Stitcher and stuff like that. You can follow me at Robert at 9 to 5 Nerds. Corey is Corey at 9 to 5. He won't even retweet he won't even tweet our links for our podcast, you son of a bitch.
I think I did.
You did the first one, didn't you?
No,
The
you did the
second
first couple. Anyways, what's your Twitter handle?
You're behind.
Corey at 9 to 5 Nerds co-host.
And Katrina is
Katrina, producer, or 9 to 5 Nerds producer.
it PR?
Oh, God.
Anyways, you can find her, and that's this week's episode. Thanks for listening, Nerdites, and we are out.